Huh? Additive. Yeah.
My name's MBurton. I'm doing a challenge today for Macmillan Cancer Fund. Aim today is for me to race in every class at the latest Ardent Summer Series, which it's going to involve 35 races throughout the day.
How much sort of planning and practice have you sort of got into for this?
Well, practice is difficult because you can't really practice for it. The cars I haven't got all the cars until today, so the fact is a lot of the cars is the first time I've driven them today.
Really? So what are you expecting from the day? Are you expecting to go into every race with the hope of winning?
No, I mean today's all about competing, to be perfectly honest. I think there's potentially, they mentioned now, there's potentially one class I've got a chance of winning today, which is 30.5 turns, Taurus. But realistically, the rest of it's all about completion for me today and just getting through the day.
Has this ever been sort of achieved before?
No. As soon as I've mentioned it to people, everyone's like, you're mad. So it's been hard work. I mean, I've been here for 2 hours already and I haven't stopped for a second just to try and get the cars on track.
So far, is it much going to plan or ahead, behind schedule?
We're okay. There's one class at the moment that we're having problems with, 12 scale at the moment. The guy can't get the speed controllers to work, so I'm hoping he's going to get it sorted. He's got about 45 minutes to get it working.
Whose idea was this? Is this your brain?
That was mine, yeah, it was my idea. Yeah. I contacted local magazine, Radio Race, not local magazine, international magazine, Radio Race Car. Told them what I was doing and they basically said, you're nuts, but I like the idea, so...
What type of support have you got with regard to your sort of pick through and things like that?
My dad. I've got a few people helping out on the pits. I'm hoping throughout the day people chip in. It's just going to be a bit mental. It's been hard work getting it, to be perfectly honest, because obviously racing 7 cars. I've only actually got one of the cars myself, so I've had to pretty much beg, steal, borrow 6 other cars. So it's been hard work getting here. I was hoping today was going to be the easy part of it, but the way it started, I don't think it will be.
What does Macmillan's charity sort of mean to you? If you just go a bit wide out.
Well, to be honest with you, the company I work for is committed to raise £50,000 for Macmillan. And there's people doing the regular things of running the marathon or doing the 3 Peaks challenge, but so I wanted to do something that was different, to be perfectly honest. My wife's father passed away 6 years ago with cancer. My granddad had it and passed away this year. He didn't actually pass away of cancer, but that was one of the reasons why it was how he was.
Well, all we can do is wish you all the best of the day and we'll sort of catch up with you a bit later on.
Cool.
Okay, bud.
Thank you.
Cool.
I need to crack on because I'm racing in about 30 seconds.
Started in 1985 racing. I've had drift clubs and stuff like that. I'm well into the RC cars. Do a lot of development as well. And here, just finished last week in my own series second, and here to finish this series hopefully second again. Well, the TC cars, the bigger ones, they cost quite a lot of money. So now with it, the climate, people are coming down now towards my days and that. They're just near as fast. You can come here one day and it will run absolutely 100%. Come another day, it's totally different again. Just different track conditions. The more tyre additive that goes down, the bigger and harder it gets. I don't know, I've just estimated that most of mine was doing about 25-30 mile an hour down the straight for 112. Take that into scale speed, that's about 140 mile an hour. I've always been a petrol mate, always. My son wanted to start, he started, but now he's moved on to the real stuff. He's got a Nissan Skyliner, 980 brake horse, so that's his toy, but Dad can't afford it. Well, you can have guys like in the My Day class who just totally race that, so they're totally tuned into that, yeah. And he's going to come in and race against them, so you're going to have a lot of concentration.
You're expecting to be quite stressed out by the end of the day.
Yeah, it should be,
Right.
Right, so this is the cheapest bus. It's the Mardave. They're the slowest, but also the cheapest. It's a handful to drive. Very, very basic. Just a metal chassis. You can buy a whole kit for about 50 quid a race.
The son's been racing about 3 years now. Started off at Newark, we're in a control car club, a small club at Newark. Then he's moved on, found out about Arden, and been really interested since he's come to Arden. So he does the summer series and the winter series. Because we live in Lincoln, it's hour and a half away. So
What's the difference between the summer and the winter series? What happened?
well, it's a bigger series. A lot of the bigger names come to the winter series, where the summer series is a bit more fun. Keeps you for hopefully get a prize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are the sort of prizes that you sort of...
Well, the series raffle was good last year at the winter series, and he's hoping to come third today with 21.5.
I'm sorry, what 21.5 is that?
The touring car.
Oh, okay, yeah. So do you race in every class, or have you got a specific...
No, he just races in the 13.5 touring car class.
12 scale hand cars. These are quickest round the track. Not necessarily fastest down the straight line, very, very, very quick around the corners. Very, very agile cars. Lovely to drive. They're probably the second most expensive class.
How's it going so far?
Yeah, it's going right, yeah. It's already starting to feel a little bit fatigued. I started to sore.
How long have you been at it now? Was it 2 hours?
Actually we started racing at 9:30, so an hour now. Yeah, another about 6 to go, so it starts to be challenging. After driving that thing, I think the touring car's going to be a bit of a handful, to be honest.
So is that again not one of your own cars?
No, it's a properly prepared car, which obviously makes a difference because I've got a car that handles rather than just being lumped to car until they go race it.
Excellent. So again, best of luck for the rest of the racing.
My name's John Dawson. This is the Ardent Raceway. Opened up 18 months ago, and it's the biggest place in the UK for racing model cars. There's a current group of about 40 that come to club days on Tuesdays and Fridays, but we put big events on, so we normally have 140 to 200 people here on big events. Typically it's a winter, it's busy during winter for us, because a lot of people go outdoors during summertime, they go asphalt racing, then as soon as it hits winter they need somewhere to go, and the Raceway was created exactly for that. It's a permanent track, carpet track, so we don't have to lay the carpet out, the grip's constant, And yeah, a lot of people have, it's been very popular with a lot of people in the UK. There's different style of cars are completely different. Touring cars are four-wheel drive, rubber grip, so you can afford to be quite aggressive. The pan cars, 12th and a GT, I think he's just finished a race now. He's not marshalling, so we shouldn't throw him out. They have to be driven a lot smoother, so it's steady on the throttle and completely different driving styles. And a lot of people say that when they've tried one class, one type of car, they find it hard to go back to the others. So I'm going to ask him later what it was like. I can guarantee the easiest one for Mark would be a 13.5 touring car. That's what he races normally. That's his standard. The Mardaves are slow and high grip, so they're quite simple. The hardest one for Mark, I imagine, is probably the F1, the 12th and the GT, where he's got to be steady. I know Mark's driving style is quite an aggressive driver, and I hope he's keeping out of the way of some of the people out there today. But yeah, he'll have to adopt his driving style for those. So yeah, that's another question to ask him, is which one did he find the easiest and the hardest? In the pits, everyone's best friends. Yeah. And on the track, you are supposed to be quite gentle. If you do take somebody out and it's your fault, you're supposed to wait until they get marshalled.
So there's like a racing etiquette?
Yes, there is. There's definitely a racing etiquette. Sometimes that's avoided, and Mark has been guilty of that in the past. But yeah, there's an etiquette, so it's dog friendly. He's absolutely mad. Yeah, absolutely mad. We did a 24-hour endurance here, and we had 6 drivers in each team, and the longest stint a driver did was 2 hours. After that 2 hours, your eyesight starts to fade, and the balls of your feet, you just stood still constantly, and you don't realise how stationary you are for that period of time. So Mark's doing, how many hours is it? He'll be doing about 6-7 hours on that rostrum. That's the longest time that anyone I know has ever done. So I think he's going to feel the pain tonight.
This is similar to the Marlow. It's called Mad Mini. Similar to the Marlow, but a bit more to it. It's got a differential where the Marlows haven't. It's got brushless motors. Again, the Marlows haven't got that sort of stuff. So again, it's a step above the Marlow, but still relatively cheap class to run.
Hi, I'm Gary Crisp, been racing model cars since I was 16, I'm now 52 and I'm still at it.
What got you interested in the car racing in the first place?
As a young kid, finding something to do, going out places, not much to do. Buying model magazines, and there you can see the model cars. So I thought that was interesting, and also interested in real cars, Formula 1, and at that time I think it was cross country or grass trackers was on ITV, and it was like the Capri 4-wheel drive. So I thought, hey, model cars. And that sort of led from one to another, and I sort of took it on from there.
Can you just give us a brief explanation of what you're doing at the moment? What's sort of going on here?
At the moment, this is a GT tank car. There's quite a few variations of cars. So you've got your 12th, your 10th, the 10th touring car, which is full independent suspension. This one is actual GT tank car. We're using a 1-cell LiPo and a 10.5 motor, and up to now I've just put it on charge, testing it all out, ready to go out on the track and have a test.
Can you just explain what a LiPo is for
a LiPo? LiPo battery. A LiPo battery is probably what most people are aware of now that go into your mobile phones, and they've progressed now onto model cars, and we use these now instead of what used to be NiCad or nickel metal hydride batteries. And on nickel metal hydride batteries, charging up you using roughly once and then put them on one side to charge them for the day, and they do get warm with discharge as well. On a LiPo battery you can use these almost all the time. They just come off, still cold, and they work more, and in the long run they're cheaper to use than NiCads.
How many races are you involved in today?
Today, just this car, we should have probably 4 heats and 2 finals. So using this car today is going to be a bit hectic.
So that's kind of a busy day for you.
It is with one, yes.
Because the reason we're here is our friend Mark Burton, who's racing for Macmillan Cancer Research.
Oh, right.
He's racing in every race, in every class. Okay. So can you sort of...
He's going to be hectic.
Yeah?
I can imagine coming off, I don't know if he's going to do a bit of marshalling, which is when we race, we come off the track and marshal, put the cars on if they do come off. But seems in every race, he's going to be, thrown away by just, what do I do next? Have I done this? Have I done that? So he's going to be running around like an headless chicken.
So it's going to be a busy day for him.
Oh, just a touch, yes.
Right, that's great. Thanks ever so much for your
You're
time.
welcome.
Thank you. Cheers.
What I would do is I'll file all the sides. The super glue the sides.
Two touring cars. We've got 21.5 turn and 13.5 turn classes. 21.5 turn class is basically the slower of the two. The two most expensive classes to run, but also the quickest overall. I mean, not necessarily quickest around the track, but in terms of actually down the straight and top speeds. Touring cars in here are being clocked today at 48 mile an hour. Outdoors they're getting anywhere to 80. The 21.5 turn is a little bit slower, and again still speeds of around 35 miles an hour, where it is to closer to 50.
My name's Tom Reynolds. I'm just lending a car and some sales to Mark. So,
And what do you think about what he's doing today? What he's trying to achieve?
I think he's absolutely insane, but it's a bloody good, good cause. So,
How hard is what he's trying to achieve to do? I mean, we've spoken to a couple of people and they're sort of saying, he's got this and this and that. Can you sort of give us some detail as to, what the sort of things that he's going through today?
Yeah, aside from the sheer logistical challenge of trying to race 7 cars with very little gap between them, they're all they all handle very differently. So every time he puts one on the track, he's got to completely recalibrate how he drives between the different cars. So,
what are the sort of differences between the types of cars then?
well, you've got touring cars which are 4-wheel drive, so they're relatively stable, and then you've got rear-wheel drive pan cars which just have so much more steering. So every time he goes into a corner, he's suddenly got acute. It's just completely different every time. So
he's literally having to sort of relearn.
he's almost having to, yeah.
And which is his standard car that he usually drives then?
I think he normally drives touring car. So all the pan car ones are going to be, completely different world to him. So
So what he's trying to achieve today then is something that's a little bit sort of different to what the normal sort of thing
Definitely.
is. You wouldn't advise other people to try this then? Well, thanks ever so much for talking.
That's
to me.
right.
That's great.
Pan car is a 10 scale GT car, similar to the 12 scale. The difference is it's basically 10 scale instead of a 12 scale, but it's much wider wheelbase. Similar sort of speed to the 12 scale, but not quite as agile. Again, relatively easy to drive.
I'm Richard Bates. I drive for X-Ray, but I'm messing around with a HPI Sprint 2 drift car. Just bought one the other day, thought it'd be a laugh, and then bought the drift track down here, so thought I'd come and have a play.
So is this a specific type of racing that you do a lot, or is it just like a warm-up track? Or
Crash it. No, I bought this car about 3 days ago, actually, just purely for a mess about it. I mean, I came down here the other night, and this wasn't here, and we were just playing about there, and then this was going to be an 18th scale off-road track, but we decided to make it into a drift track instead. But I mean, I don't race it, and I don't really intend on racing it. I do touring car.
So are you racing in the rest of the races?
No, I'm not actually. I've just come down because I've thought I could support the team a bit more. I mean, I will be doing the winter series, but I'm not doing the summer series because I had other commitments on. But I still come down and support the rest of the team and stuff.
A bit about X-Ray team.
We've got the T311 out. We've not long ago brought out the gear diff for it, which makes it a lot better to drive. I mean, in the A-Final 13.5 is 7 X-Rays and the rest 2 hot bodies. We've got Zach Finley's just come over, the only person in the 13.5 to 10.5 class, still a 23 lap around this track. The car is very, very good. It's one of the top ones out there. I don't think there's many to compete with it at the minute.
So how long have you been with Team X-Ray then?
Quite a while actually. The first X-Ray I had was the FK05, which was 2005 model, and then I've progressed. I've had the 08, and then I went straight to the T3, and now I'm currently running the T3R, but with all the optional extras on, such as it's standard as silver, everything's silver, it's all FRP with plastic shocks, but we've all changed it so it's all in gold and everything. We're also running the aluminium shocks. It really is a great car.
We're sort of down here filming MBurton today, the sort of guy in the sort of green
Oh yeah.
And basically he's doing the thing for a Macmillan Cancer Charity,
Yeah.
where he's racing in every sort of class and every event. So
Yeah.
you've seen him up there a bit. He sort of got any sort of views and opinions on how difficult or anything that.
I think what he's doing is extremely odd thing, because to change from, he's doing the pan cars now. To change from a pan car to a touring car, completely different game. And I didn't realise that. I've just said to one of my teammates, he's like, is he running in everything? I said, yeah, but now I've realised that. That's brilliant, that is.
Can you just, for the people who don't really know, can you just sort of say a bit about what is different between one type of car against another?
Well, these pan cars that he's racing at the minute are very, very high grip, really powerful. But touring cars got a lot less, I'd say it's got a lot less traction, but it can be just as quick, if not quicker. And it's just different designs and different types.
So is it sort of quite difficult to go from one set of like controls of the car to another set?
Yeah, it depends. I know he's a good driver, because I've seen him down here before. But to go from one class to another in itself is a hard thing, even for the best of drivers. But if he's running all classes, and I don't think I've seen him break anything yet, and which is a good sign. And
Broke sweat a couple of times, I can say.
I know, I've seen, but what he's doing is a great thing. Yeah, it really is.
Thanks ever so much for your... do you feel after your day now it's all over?
Knackered.
Yeah,
Knackered. Elated it's done.
Good sense of achievement though?
Yeah. Yeah.
£1,000 is a worthy cause, but tiring.
What was the hardest thing about today?
The length of it. 6 o'clock. Left the house at 6 o'clock this morning. It's 12 hours and constant mental exercise. So yeah, I'm gonna have a splitting headache in about half an hour's time. I can feel it now.
Plan to do it again anytime soon?
No, absolutely none. Next time I'm gonna climb Mount Everest. I think it'll be easier.
But you say you've got everything done you've tried to achieve, so you should be very proud of yourselves.
Yeah.
Both of you, you're doing really well.
Yeah,
So.
tough day.
I'm exhausted, I don't know how you got it.
Tough day.
A lot of willpower.
Like so.
It's a worthy cause, I have to say.
Very much so. Very much so. I'd say we're up to over £1,000 now, I think. So I'll tap my aim as 1,000.
Excellent. Well, all you can say is congratulations on your achievements and best of luck for the next one.
Next year.